YouTubiverse, vinyl community, what the fuck ever. Welcome back to Ground Zero Salem. I'm Pat, your host, as always. So, going back into the collection here. Before I get started with that, we're listening to the Oak and Bone self-titled on Hex Records. 2011 this came out. Fucking pretty unique stuff. Band from my hometown. Used to be in a band with a guitarist called Hand of Glory. That was the name of the band, not the guitarist. His name is Ted. Cool stuff. I don't listen to too much stuff like this. It's definitely sludgy, kind of hardcore with like a good stoner bend. It's riffy. I don't know. I might be giving this more of a chance because I knew these guys and they fucking were great live. But I like this record a lot. I picked it up for $5 because the owner of Hex Records, Ryan Hex, is moving to Portland, so it's kind of getting rid of a bunch of stuff, make his move a little bit later, I guess. So I don't know if this is going to be unavailable afterwards or whatever. But yeah, Hex Records. I'll leave a link. I'm not sure when Ryan's going to be moving out there, but he's selling a lot of stuff for cheap. I'll talk about more of the releases I got in that order at a later juncture. I haven't gotten all of them yet. There was one CD that he had to send separately for one reason or another. But anyways, so we left off in the B's. So kicking right off, BLI. We're going to talk about some Blitz now. This is on No Future Records. No Future was known for putting out lots and lots of great Brit punk in the early 80s, the UK 82 era. 1982 is when this record came out. And this is primo era Blitz before they went kind of new wavy. Songs like Moscow, 4Q, Propaganda is probably my favorite song. Just awesome shit. You know, I'll put a link because even though they're a pretty commonly known punk band, I don't know if everybody watching this channel's really checked them out, but they're definitely worth checking out. Total beer swilling, fist in the air kind of stuff. Were kind of revolutionary for their day because they had two skins and two punks in the band, which didn't happen too often. But great stuff. I mean, the songs will be stuck in your head for days. Just great fucking punk. Then I got this Blood LP, Christ Bait on Rough Trade. Blood's been discussed a bit lately on the BC by a couple people, Eric and Ross mainly. Great band, and I do agree with Eric that nobody really talks about him that much. I know Nuclear War Now is re-releasing some stuff soon, or maybe they already have. I've been listening to this at work a bunch lately because I wanted to talk about it. It's been a while since I've spun these LPs. It's grind and it's got a death metal influence, but it doesn't really meld the two together like a lot of other bands, especially those kind of gore grindy, deathy kind of bands from like the early 2000s. It's something entirely different. The vocals are not like, you know, they're almost understandable. They're like pronounced, measured kind of death metal vocals. The closest comparison I can think of is maybe Barney Greenway, but not quite, you know. There's just something odd about the songwriting and the combinations of riffs that they come up with. There's something weird about the guitar tone that's almost like kind of chorusy sounding. They do blast, you know, they do play fast. They are a grind band, or at least in part. The slow parts are really fucking ominous. It's a great record. Christ Bait. It has some custom center labels, you know, like that. Yeah, cool record. German band. I'm not sure when this came out. Sometime in the early 90s. Not entirely sure there. Sometime in the 90s it came out. It was their second full length, I do believe. I'm told that their first one's a classic. I have yet to grab it. Hopefully that's one of the things Nuclear War Now re-releases. Also have Disangelium, which is further down the path of their discography. It might be their fourth or fifth, I'm not sure. Fudgeworthy Records put this out, this local label run by a guy named Charlie Infection, who's in a band called Psycho, as well as a band called Donculator. I haven't spun this one in a long time, but there's a lot more songs on it, so maybe, I'm thinking maybe it's a little bit more blasty, but fucking cool. Great band. A couple High Roller reissues. I would love to have the originals, but I don't. Of some Blood Feast records. The first, Kill for Pleasure, and the second record, which is an EP, Face Fate. You know, it's a High Roller, so you know the quality's great. It's cool, splattery, blue and yellow and pink vinyl. Both copies come with a poster, which I'm not gonna unfurl at the moment. But yeah, gnarly Jersey thrash, just dirty and fucking mean thrash metal. Fucking amazing stuff. This is Face Fate. This is just on black, so I'll spare you. Got some great jean shorts on the back there. Awesome stuff. They got they did an album that wasn't so hot, that a lot of people, it dropped off for a lot of people. I think it was like Chopping Block Blues or something like that. But yeah, those records are awesome. Then we got Boston's own Blood for Blood. This is Wasted Youth Brew. Came out on Victory, I want to say early 2000s, maybe mid 2000s even. Gatefold 5-shot. This is an odds and ends 2 LP comp that has a bunch of rando tracks that are like from tributes and stuff. A couple of tracks exclusive to this release, including my favorite Blood for Blood song, When the Storm Comes, I'll Stand Alone. They also do Going Down the Bar by the Wretched Ones, which is a fucking jam. No Friend of Mine by Slapshot, which they kill it with. And All This and More, which I think is a Johnny Thunders song, if I'm not mistaken. Then they have their demo and their 7-inch, that's side B, A and B. Side C and D's one live set from the Middle East, which is a very great club here in Boston, well, Cambridge rather, still active. I was at that show. It happened in 99 or 2000s. I got my fucking head caved in, like literally. It was a violent fucking gig. Not on purpose because I was being a drunk idiot or anything. It was just really hard fucking moshing. But fucking great band, scary stuff. After that, we got Revenge on Society. Their second album, their first album on Victory Records. Flipping the bird right there. Great mix of stuff. I mean, early Blood for Blood was very Sheer Terror inspired, as well as, I don't know, some other, you know, what you'd expect, the laundry list of kind of New York hardcore kind of influences like Breakdown, but even heavier than any of that stuff. Just fucking brutal shit. Deep, gruff vocals, and, you know, great breakdowns and stuff. And then they started to involve a little bit more of a punk influence, a little bit more oi kind of choruses and stuff. There's a little bit more of like a self-titled and Between Heaven and Hell Social Distortion influence. And I loved that stuff for a long time, and then for some reason just burnt out on the Social Distortion shit. But the way they interpret it and add it to their music works really well, and I still like this album a lot. Paper Gangster, complete diss track about, you know, white kids from the suburbs pretending to be hard. Shut My Eyes Forever, almost like a doom metal song, you know, as far as just being depressed in terms of subject matter. All Fucked Up is a great, you know, not anthem, but kind of song about not being able to control your drinking habits. Die Laughing, Wasted Youth Crew, fuck you and your society too, fuck you, and fuck the world. Can't go wrong. It's fucking great hardcore. I've got a Bloodlet record. This is also on Victory. It's a band I used to see all the fucking time, back in the 90s, back when I was a kid. They played a lot. They kind of represented a big changing of the guard in hardcore at the time, and especially at the shows that I used to attend, where Shelter was the band that everybody used to go nuts for. Like the first year or two I started going to shows, which was Ray of Today's Hare Krishna band. And then all of a sudden Bloodlet came along and blew him off the stage at one like 10-band fest kind of gig. And things were never the same afterwards. Unbroken and Damnation AD and all that stuff started coming around, and there's a shift in taste with a lot of the kids to this more metallic kind of hardcore. Unlike years later with quote-unquote metalcore getting big and all the bands being kind of homogenous and sounding the same, all the bands then that involved a distinct metal influence kind of had their own sound. Damnation AD didn't sound like Bloodlet, didn't sound like Unbroken, didn't sound like Starkweather. Bloodlet, I definitely feel like has a big, like, kind of noisy, drony, kind of almost neurosis kind of thing going on. almost like a sludge hardcore band with the usual other influences of like integrity and that kind of stuff mixed in. They were great. This record's awesome. I don't really care for too much past this. This is Entheogen, by the way. The center labels there. Their early 7 inches are on another release called Eclectic, and I recommend that even stronger than this one. Fucking Eclectic is the best shit. I got some Blue Cheer here, Vince Visceruptum. Very influential 60s hard rock that's incredibly feedback damaged and heavy in its own right. A lot of people say they're the first heavy metal band. I kind of call bullshit on that, but it is great. Fucking tweaked out, fuzzed out, psychedelic, fucking skull bashing greatness. A lot of people know the cover of Summertime Blues. It was originally by Eddie Cochran, I think. But yeah, fucking awesome, heavy stuff. This is just a reissue, a nice, no frills reissue, which is how I like it. Center labels, it's on black. Fucking good. Tear into my Bolt Thrower LPs here. This is an FDR reissue of War Master. This is fucking great. Beautiful gatefold. The Games Workshop connection was still strong at this time. Awesome, just, fucking tank treads burned into your back. Fucking decapitated with a broadsword kind of shit. The band, I feel like a lot of people celebrate when they got more mid-paced and heavy, but I still like it when they had some fast shit going on, and this is a great example of that. They did a bang-up job with all the bells and whistles that originally came with the first press. They reproduced that really well. This fucking booklet, man. All these fucking fantasy art, sci-fi shit going on. Fucking really, really, really great. One of my favorites for sure. Not my favorite Bolt Thrower record. It might be second or third. Love and Battle There Is No Law, where it's a little bit more almost like crusty. This, however, is, and this is an original press, or at least an older press. It might be from the early 2000s, I'm not sure. But Realm of Chaos, Slaves to Darkness. Fucking great stuff. Another beautiful gatefold with fucking sick art. The riff on World Eater, I've mentioned it before. Fucking great. Awesome. Enter the Realm of Chaos, your nightmare has just begun. Gasp your final breath. And again, this artist, I need to look up the dude's name. Art is fantastic, and I believe he or she did the artwork for the Crypta Kerberos box set, and it's just this insanely intricate pencil-drawn kind of stuff. But yeah, incredible like grooves and heavy mid-paced riffs that just destroy. Great barking vocals from Carl Willits, and this has still a little bit more that. I feel like early on riff-wise they had a bunch of influences, a strong influence rather from Sacrilege, and which makes sense. They were buddies with them. They might have even shared members at some point. I don't remember. And there's a little bit more of that like kind of crusty, blasting, fast thing going on. I like the records past these. I own the Fourth Crusade, I think, on cassette, and I like that sound, but I like when they still went fast, so that's where the vinyl stops for me. I have some other stuff, other formats. We got Bomb Builder here, Denful Melody. This is a 6-song EP, 12-inch, obviously. This came out on Gloom Records, Nate Wilson. This is Wedge from Nine Shocks Terror's band after Nine Shocks Terror. Pretty similar to Nine Shocks Terror, a little bit more, I guess, maybe a little bit more D-beat, but definitely Japanese, fastcore, D-beat, distort kind of stuff going on. Great record, kind of shrieky vocals, awesome shit. And now I need to pause it because I never learned my lesson with playing LPs while I fucking make these things. Be right back. Bonal was a band that I was pretty excited about, coming up on 10 years ago. I feel like they're one of those bands where I actually still have some of their tapes, but as far as vinyl goes, I really only need this one, Not For Our Feet. Great raw, punkish, like 2-chord, you know, necrotic black metal. They were a huge deal a while back. The members went on to be in Raspberry Vault. This came out on their own imprint, which was Klaxon Records. And I don't think there's anything too exciting in here. It's just a little insert. Pretty sure it's on black, about 99%. Yeah, black vinyl. You know, these center labels. Yeah, they were a super hot band for a while, and I think their music more or less holds up. I think this record's good. I definitely don't need the entire discography. Meaningless Leaning Mess is a great record as well. We got some Bone Sickness, Alone in the Grave. I was pleased as punch when I found out this band hadn't broken up. I hadn't heard anything about them in a while, and I figured they just kind of got absorbed by other bands or something, and somebody informed me that they're still going and hopefully doing some new stuff. This came out on 20 Buck Spin, Alone in the Grave. Just loads of fun. Really inspired by like Nihilist, Autopsy, and Repulsion for the most part. Great raw, ripping death metal, touch of grind, touch of gloom to it. I'd recommend pretty much everything they put out. I think they're fucking great, especially, you know, if y'all are into like that newer Dark Descent stuff that's been blowing up past couple of years. This came out a while ago. It's not super old. I don't have the date in front of me, but I think it came out in like 2012 or 13 maybe. It's a great release. Definitely worth your time. There's that. I was trying to see if I could see a year on that, but no such fucking luck. A couple of records by Boston Strangler. Alright, so Boston Strangler is the shit. I like to think that they kind of sound like if SSD got together a few years later. Like, the guys from SSD started the band in their like late 20s to early 30s instead of like as teenagers or dudes in their early 20s. It's very much like perfect Boston hardcore, classic Boston hardcore. Strong similarities to SSD and DYS, as well as some other stuff going on. Just very fucking pissed. Growly, gruff vocals, which is you know, a pretty common thing for Boston hardcore. That's Primitive. This came out on Fun with Smack. Center labels there for you. Black vinyl. The second record is kind of more the same. They pushed the style a little bit more. This is just called Fire. Start to weave in a little bit of, not really a metal influence, but maybe a rock influence in a better way than fucking SSD did. A little bit of Motorhead kind of thing, I feel like, but very, very slight. You know, it's not like they're, you know, doing stuff that sounds like fucking Venom on this or something, but yeah, this one's even faster and tighter. Their production's a little bit cleaner and louder, but yeah, fucking, there's been a big resurgence of all this Boston-inspired stuff in Boston, which is fitting, I guess, as well as some other parts of the country. Boston Strangler leading the charge, doing it better than anybody else. And I got Bouncing Souls, Good, the Bad, and the Argyle. This is a big nostalgic record for me. It's almost like the East Coast Rancid. You know, it's poppy punk. Great melodies. This came out on Chunksaw Records, which was the singer from Token Entry's label. Before this band ended up on Epitaph, but the first couple of records were on this Chunksaw label. And fitting enough, these guys were like a more poppy Token Entry. This kind of soulful melodies that really the East Coast bands had a style in their style, which was unique and different from that kind of more, I don't know, like Beach Boys-y kind of melody with the West Coast pop punk bands. It's hard to describe, but, you know, if you actually like stuff like this, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, great record. Listened to the hell out of it when it came out. Got a couple breakdown LPs. Doing on time. Pretty good. This is the reissue of the 87 demo. believe I've discussed this already. It came out on Painkiller. Cool insert with a nice history of the band and everything. Pretty much the band that started the whole metallic stomp in New York hardcore way back in '87. Their, members went on to be in Raw Deal / Killing Time, which were also very influential for changing the sound of New York hardcore. Big influence on, big influence on, stuff like Madball and all that kind of shit. Fucking great band. This reissue's lovely. It's got the demo, the original first demo that they did. Yeah, my alarm fucking went off. Got up early today. Anyway, yeah, it's got the '87 demo on one side and WNYU radio set on the other. I was excited as fuck when this one came out a couple of years ago. This is the '88 or '89 demo, Runnin' Scared on one side and another radio set on the other. Really hard to hear a proper, decent sounding version of the Runnin' Scared demo, and it's great stuff. There's a bunch of songs that aren't on the first demo that were re-recorded for other stuff later, I think, but just nasty stuff. A lot of unearthed shit on this. The live set on the other side is fucking great. It's fucking hilarious. Great stage banter. Great heavy New York stuff. Again, nice history of the demo and the era. I know that, like I said, a couple of the members went on to leave this band and start Raw Deal, who turned into Killing Time. I'm not sure if they were on this or not. Just don't have that committed to memory, but I think it was right before those dudes left. But yeah, fucking great stuff. Broken Bones, great Discharge spin-off. Bones from Discharge on guitar. This is their first record, Dem Bones. This was re-released on Fallout Records, I believe is the name of the label. Yep. Cool stuff, good good gatefold rather. Legit release. Love that fucking iconic photo of the dude hanging. Great shit. Kind of UK's answer to Crossover in sort of a way. A lot more solo laden, kind of almost gallopy take on like Discharge hardcore punk. Fucking cool. This is an EP that came later. Never Say Die. A little bit faster and cleaner on this one. 3 songs. Never Say Die, 10-5 or a Dime, Gotta Get Out of Here. This, I don't even know, Fallout Records. Fallout Records again. Center labels, black vinyl. Broken Bones had one of the coolest fucking mascot logo things. And then we have FOAD, Fuck Off and Die. This is on Radiation Records. This is a repress. Black. This one they cleaned up their sound and got heavier. It's got a live side and a studio side. The studio side just fucking kills. Real fucking heavy, almost like more like straight up thrash, like heavy thrash, but still very, punk in spirit. You can see here guitarist or bassist rather is wearing a SOD shirt. We got a couple of Bruisers records. Classic Oi from New Hampshire. This was released on Rock and Roll Disgrace. Nice embossing there. Rock and Roll Disgrace was the label that put out the that great Battle Ruins record I was talking about a few updates back. The Bruisers featured El Bar, who's been the singer for the Dropkick Murphys now for, I don't know, like 17 years, I think. But this is way different than Dropkick Murphys. It's very raw, kind of punishing, simplistic Oi stuff. Al's vocals are nice and gruff and shouted. They cover a Blitz song, Nation on Fire, on here. But yeah, great fucking street rock, great Oi. Then I have a later release by them on Tang Records, which is called Cruisin' for a Bruisin'. See that there. This is, you can see like they've grown their hair out. They're in a classic car. They've got some pompadours going. And this is a little bit more, the playing's a lot better. There's a lot more melody. There's a lot more rock and roll kind of thing going on. It's not just straight up oi anymore. It's kind of like rock and roll-ish, like street punk kind of stuff. They do a song called Iron Chin, which was originally written by or for Agnostic Front. They were good buddies with AF and Madball. But fucking, yeah, great album. Great anthems. Great summer record. It's not summer anymore, but definitely fun for that. Great shit. And then as the last one, we've got fucking Brotherhood. And I'll probably be double dipping and talking about this shortly, because I think I'm going to do a thing involving Youth Crew soon. But this is Seattle's fucking Youth Crew band, and I like them a lot more than most of the bands of this ilk at that time. This is late 80s. Looking hardcore, straight edge hardcore. This bears a lot of similarities to SSD to me as well. Just something about the vocal delivery and the guitar riffs and stuff. But cool band. I believe his name is Stephen O'Malley. One of the members. Went on to be in Burning Witch and Sun and stuff. Greg Anderson. Stephen O'Malley's a different guy from one of those bands. I'm not the most knowledgeable about all that Southern Lord kind of shit, but yeah, I believe it's Greg Anderson who was the one that went on to be in all that, you know, all that sludgy, doomy shit that the kids like. But cool stuff. Words run as thick as blood. And he's pointing. This came out on Crucial Response Records, and it's a little fucked. The center labels. I don't know what Frozen P means, but Brotherhood guy there, the little guy. I know that, I think it's the singer or one of the guys from the band was an Accused roadie, and the Accused and Brotherhood toured together, which I think is fucking cool. But this got re-released on Southern Lord. I'm sure they did a very nice job with it. I've been a fan of the hardcore stuff that Southern Lord's been reissuing. Particularly the Uniform Choice and Blast records are really fucking good. So yeah, that's my pile of stuff from my record collection. Re-sleeving this is going to be a pleasure, I'm sure. Coming up with a bunch more updates very soon. Free weekend, do what I please. So probably another subgenre wars, which I think I probably gave away by talking about this. And once I hit 500, I'll talk about the contest I have in mind. I've got like hopefully a good idea for other people to spin off of and make videos of their own. And very soon, my neighbor John has expressed an interest in coming back on and being a guest. So all that's stuff that I'm very excited about. Thank you for subbing. Thank you for watching. Bye.